History is not only shaped by wars, kings, or empires. Sometimes, the biggest turning points begin with betrayal. A trusted friend becomes an enemy. A loyal commander changes sides. A family member chooses power over blood, and in a single moment, trust breaks apart, and history changes forever. Some betrayals destroyed kingdoms, some started wars, and some changed the fate of entire civilizations. These stories survived for centuries because they reveal one terrifying truth. The most dangerous enemies are often the ones standing closest to you, from ancient Rome to royal palaces to battlefields soaked in blood. These are the greatest betrayals in history. Julius Caesar and Brutus. Julius Caesar was one of the most powerful men alive. He conquered lands, won great battles, and became a hero to the Roman people. But inside the Senate, fear was growing. Many senators believed Caesar wanted too much power and feared he would destroy the Roman Republic. So a secret conspiracy was formed, and among the conspirators was Brutus, one of Caesar's closest friends, a man Caesar trusted deeply. On March 15, 44 BC, Caesar entered the Senate expecting a normal political meeting. Instead, senators surrounded him with daggers. Caesar tried to resist at first, but according to legend, the moment he saw Brutus among the attackers, he stopped fighting in shock. Moments later, Julius Caesar lay dead on the Senate floor, but instead of saving Rome, the assassination pushed the Republic into chaos and civil war. Eventually, the Roman Empire rose from the destruction. One betrayal changed Roman history forever. Judas betrays Jesus. Judas Iscariot was one of the 12 disciples of Jesus Christ. He traveled beside Jesus, listened to his teachings, and was trusted by everyone around him. To the other disciples, Judas appeared completely loyal, but secretly, Judas agreed to betray Jesus in exchange for 30 pieces of silver. Late at night, Roman soldiers arrived searching for Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. In the darkness, they needed someone to identify him. Judas walked toward Jesus and kissed him on the cheek. That kiss became the signal for the soldiers. Jesus was arrested shortly afterward and later crucified. For centuries, Judas became one of the most famous symbols of betrayal in human history. His actions shaped religious history forever. Mir Jafar and the Battle of Plassey. In 1757, Bengal was one of the richest regions in India. Its ruler, Suraj-ud-Dawla, faced growing pressure from the British East India Company, which wanted greater control over Bengal's wealth and trade. The British knew defeating Bengal directly would be difficult, so instead, they searched for someone inside the Nawab's own court. They found Mir Jafar, one of Suraj-ud-Dawla's top military commanders. The British secretly promised Mir Jafar power and the position of Nawab if he helped them win. During the Battle of Plassey, while fighting erupted across the battlefield, Mir Jafar's forces barely participated. The betrayal weakened Bengal's army at the worst possible moment, and the British secured victory. That single betrayal became a turning point in Indian history and eventually led to nearly 2 centuries of British rule in India. Benedict Arnold. At the beginning of the American Revolution, Benedict Arnold was considered a hero. He fought bravely in important battles and earned the respect of soldiers across America. But over time, Arnold became bitter and frustrated. He believed his sacrifices were not being properly recognized. Slowly, his loyalty to America began to fade. Arnold secretly contacted the British and agreed to betray the American cause. In exchange for money and power, he planned to hand over the important fort at West Point. Fortunately for the Americans, the plot was discovered before it could succeed. Arnold escaped and officially joined the British side. Even today, the name Benedict Arnold is still used as another word for traitor. Aurangzeb betrays his family. Aurangzeb was one of the sons of Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan, the ruler famous for building the Taj Mahal. When Shah Jahan became ill, a violent struggle for power began between his sons. Aurangzeb was determined to become emperor. He fought brutal wars against his own brothers and eventually defeated them. Some were executed, while others were imprisoned. After securing power, Aurangzeb imprisoned his own father inside Agra Fort. From captivity, Shah Jahan spent his final years looking toward the Taj Mahal from a distance. Aurangzeb eventually became one of the most powerful Mughal rulers in history, but his rise to power came through betrayal, ambition, and family destruction. Archduke Franz Ferdinand assassination. In 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, traveled to Sarajevo with his wife Sophie. Europe at the time was already filled with political tension and growing hostility between nations. A young nationalist named Gavrilo Princip saw the royal visit as an opportunity. As the royal car moved through the streets, Princip stepped forward and assassinated both Ferdinand and Sophie. The attack shocked Europe. Because of complicated military alliances between nations, countries quickly began declaring war on one another. Within weeks, World War I had begun. Millions of lives would eventually be lost, all triggered by a single act of violence and betrayal. Robert Ford betrays Jesse James. Jesse James was one of the most famous outlaws of the American Wild West. He robbed banks, trains, and became a legendary figure across America. Robert Ford was part of Jesse James's gang and was welcomed into his inner circle. But secretly, Ford wanted fame and reward money for himself. In 1882, Jesse James was standing inside his home adjusting a picture frame on the wall, believing he was safe among friends. He was completely unguarded. At that moment, Robert Ford pulled out a revolver and shot Jesse James in the back, although Ford expected praise for killing the outlaw. Many people viewed him as a coward and traitor for the rest of his life. Richard Roman III and the Princes in the Tower. After King Edward IV of England died, his two young sons became heirs to the throne. Their uncle Richard was supposed to protect them until the older prince was old enough to rule. The boys were placed inside the Tower of London, supposedly for their safety. But soon afterward, Richard declared himself king and became Richard III. Then something mysterious happened. The two princes disappeared and were never seen again. Many historians believe the princes were secretly murdered, so Richard could secure power without rivals. The mystery became one of the most famous suspected betrayals in English history.
Subscribe for more dark history, like if you were shocked, and comment the betrayal that hit the hardest.